welcome to my channel. Today we are having another book haul. These are all the books that I have acquired since the last book haul I uploaded, and I know it might seem like quite a lot in such a short period of time, but most of these books I actually bought when my boyfriend and I had a date weekend, if you like. We had tickets to Gabriel Iglesias, stand-up comedian, when he was in Norway now in June. And so we decided to make that weekend into an us weekend. And we ended up going into 3 different bookshops, and some of those stores also had a 3 for 2 deal, so I ended up buying more books than I was planning on because of that deal. So some of these books I got at the 3 for 2. Some of them were actually on pretty big sale. So I thought that 50% off an entire series was pretty good. That is why I have accumulated all of these books since the start of May. But let's get into it, shall we? I would like to start with 2 books that I bought in Oslo when we were there for the show. The first one is The Green Witch. It says, Your Complete Guide, The Natural Magic of Herbs, Flowers, Essential Oils, and More by Erin Murphy Hitchcock. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I saw this one lying on a table in the store. It was a table arranged with different type of witchy books. I just love that. This is a non-fiction. It has advices and how to become a green witch. I also found at the same table by the same author, The House Witch. Your Complete Guide to Creating a Magical Space with Rituals and Spells for Hearth and Home. This one is the same type of book as this one. It just gives you directions and how to be the house witch and how to protect your home. That's those 2. Next up, I have a book that my boyfriend got for me that same weekend we were in Oslo, and that is Tales of Norse Mythology by Gerber, and it is the leather-bound edition. It's beautiful. And there's the spine and the back. It has the gilded edges and end paper art. And it also has beautiful illustrations in here. It is amazingly beautiful. It has illustrations like this throughout the whole book. I am from Norway, one of the land of the Vikings. So the Norse mythology is kind of our heritage, if we can call it that. I'm really looking forward to start reading some of these stories. I do know a lot of the stories from Norse mythology, but I would like to read this entire book. I am gonna read this one story at a time in between other books. Next up, we have the classics that I bought since start of May. And they are all in the Penguin cloth-bound editions. I got Dracula by Bram Stoker. I got Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I also got Frankenstein by Marie Shelley, Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I love these penguin cloth bound editions. I find them beautiful and they look amazing on the shelf. They are so gorgeous. And I can't wait to get into those. I'm so gonna say that a lot this video, aren't I? Okay, let's move on. The next books I have is an entire series of 8 books. And that is... Okay, let me see if I can get this right. The 8 books of the Bridgerton series. Yeah. I was sucked in through the TV show on Netflix like most everyone else. And I'm not really a big romance kind of girl, but I have to admit that I loved that TV show. And I was just thinking that it's historical, I kind of like that time period, so I decided to give it a chance. And I was laughing so hard. It was a great TV show. I loved the humor. And I kind of just had to know what the rest of it was about. And especially after the second season came out, I really got an urge to read all of the books before season 3 and 4, because that has been confirmed. And I really just... I want to know more. I like the characters. And I want to know what happens to them. To all the children in the Bridgerton family. So, that is why I got the Bridgerton 8 books. The next book I have is The Mysterious Affair at Styles, Poirot's First Case by Agatha Christie. I have decided to start collecting these books of Poirot and even Miss Marple. So I saw this in the store and I decided to pick it up. The next 2 books I have are horror books, Stephen King. I have The Shining. Loved the movie. The movie is one of the best movies out there. So, I have to read the book. Then we have Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King. This is a tale of a mysterious illness that spreads through the female population. They fall asleep and they are covered in a cocoon. And if one of the women wake up and breaks the cocoon, she becomes rabid. It sounds really, really exciting, and it kind of also sounds like a spin of Sleeping Beauty and maybe even Snow White. I'm looking forward to this one. The next book is The Tangleroot Palace and Other Stories by Marjorie Liu. This is a collection of short stories that takes place in the Tanglewood Forest, and it is filled with stories about dangerous women and dangerous magic. Next books we have are 2 books of Stacey Hall's. The first one is The Familiars. I have actually read this one. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And it's about the Pendle Witch Trials in Lancashire. And the second one is The Foundling. Have not read this one yet. But let me read you the back. 2 women bound by a child and a secret that will change everything. London, 1754. 6 years after leaving her illegitimate daughter Clara at London's Foundling Hospital, Bess Bright returns to reclaim the child she has never known. Dreading the worst, that Clara has died in care, Bess is astonished to be told she has already claimed her. Her life is turned upside down as she tries to find out who has taken her little girl and why. Less than a mile from Bess's lodgings in the city, a rich young widow has not left her house in a decade. When she is asked to hire a nursemaid for her daughter, she is hesitant to welcome someone new into her home and her life. But her past is threatening to catch up with her and tear her carefully constructed world apart. It does sound pretty good. So yeah, I am looking forward to reading this, but it's not the highest on my list, but I will get to it. The next book I have is For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. I do believe that this is a Little Red Riding Hood inspired book about a girl named Red who has a mysterious power, and her fate is to be sacrificed to the wolf. I really enjoy fairy tales. I have the entire collection of Grimm's fairy tales right behind me here. So I am looking forward to this one. Fairy tales retellings and fairy tale inspired books. I just know I'm gonna love them. So yeah, moving on. The next one I have is Susanna Clarke's Piranesi. It is a Greek myth retelling. Next one we have is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. This one is a book about, it's historical in 1893 during the suffragette movement. It is believed that magic and witchcraft did no longer exist until a group of women are determined to bring back the lost art of the wise woman, or the witch, starts to incorporate it into getting women the right to vote, I believe. But it also says here that stalked by shadows and sickness, hunted by forces who will not suffer a witch to vote, and perhaps not even to live. The sisters will need to delve into the oldest magics, draw new alliances, and heal the bond between them if they want to survive. There's no such thing as witches, but there will be. I think that sounds really, really cool. I love witches, witchy stories, and I think that this one is gonna be a great one. The next book I have is The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. I had not heard about this one before I bought it the other day. I loved the cover, and I do think that the cover might have been the persuading factor about this book, but it was also in a part of a deal, 3 for 2 books, so I picked it up. This one is about 2 twin sisters who are sold to a man and work as slaves. Lives have lost all meaning until one of their fellow slave girls gives one of them a reason to live. And everything is turned upside down again when they find out that there is a dragon plaguing the land who accepts young girls as sacrifices. Their existence is threatened once again, and even though they are already slaves, things could always get worse. I think that this sounds like a pretty interesting book. And I am looking forward to checking it out. So that is The Deathless Girls. The next one we have is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. In this we follow the lead girl Agnieszka. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Agnieszka. She's a girl who loves her village, but in this village they are relying on a dragon to protect their home from the shadow and dark magic surrounding the forest. Every 10 years, one young maiden is chosen to serve the dragon for the next 10 years. Our lead girl, Agnieszka, is worried that her best friend is gonna be the next maiden to serve the dragon. Is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. This is about a 17-year-old girl, Rin, who only cares about two things in this world, and that is her family and her family's graveyard. They have fallen on hard times, and she is trying to stay alive, working as a grave robber. But in this world, working as a grave robber can have its price, because the dead doesn't always stay dead. Just that alone has me convinced that this is a great book. Can't wait to get into this, and I think that I'm gonna get into this one very, very soon. The next book that I got was Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I am really looking forward to this one. This is about a girl named Olivia who goes to an all-girls school. And when it nears her end there, she receives a letter from her uncle inviting her home to the family estate. But when she gets there, no one there sent the letter. Okay, there are 3 book series left, so I'm just gonna show them series-wise, I think. The first is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I have The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, which is book 2, and The Hero of Ages. That is the Mistborn trilogy. I also have the series We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faisal. I have heard a lot of good things about this. I was a little bit on the fence about them, but the more I heard about them, the more interesting they sounded. Let me read the back of number 1. Saphira is the hunter. Forced to disguise herself as a man, she risks everything to provide for her people. Nasir is the Prince of Death, a feared assassin who is forever bound to the command of his father, the Sultan. Both are legends in their kingdom, but neither wants to be. And when Saphira embarks on a dangerous quest to return magic to their suffering land, Nasir is sent on a similar mission. But as their journey unfolds, an ancient evil begins to stir. Sounds kind of good. I bought both of them because I hate owning just the first book. I'm a completionist. So yeah, I got them both. And the last series that I found online for 55% off. And so I couldn't resist, because that was a very, very good money saver, especially seeing as it is hardcovers. So the last book series that I have for you today is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I did read Throne of Glass and I loved it. I love Sarah J. Maas's writing, and I am really looking forward to get into this one. And I do hope that it is as good as I think it is. I have really high hopes, and I don't want to get disappointed, but I still believe it is a great series. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I think we just got through all of them. Let me know if you have read any of them. I would love to hear your opinions. No spoilers, please. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed it, please consider clicking the subscribe button. And I do hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye!